Hello and welcome back to part 2 of our look at Arkhram's FNCS Invitationals Finals tournament. In part 1 we looked at games 1 through 6, so obviously part 2 will be 7 through 12. We're just hitting the highlights. If you just jumped in and just come across this video, then you might want to go watch part 1 first, or not, you can just watch part 2 as well. I mean, it's just going to be the same things of just trying to learn exactly how Arkhram was able to completely dominate this tournament. As you can see, 292 points, almost 100 points above second place, so just pure domination. And so let's jump right into game 7. So I think I'm noticing that Arkhram is just not afraid. He's just not afraid to get in and to get tags and to take snipes, and he's gonna challenge you if you challenge him. So notice he gets completely beamed down to 56 health here, but just doesn't care. Like, so basically what happens here is that Godku hears Arkhram get beamed, and so he's like, I mean, I just heard this dude's shield get cracked, like, I'm gonna push him and get this kill. And Arkhram is like, no, I'm just going to edit down on you, and before you can even aim, I'm going to shotgun you twice and kill you. So, I mean, that speaks to his confidence in his aim ability. I mean, with a blue tack, you can 2-tack someone as long as you hit them in the face. So, I mean, he's just confident in his abilities, and he knows when he can take someone by surprise and get the kill on them, get the elim on them before they're going to be able to finish them off. But that was definitely risky, though. He had 56 health. Very risky. So another thing that Arkhram seems to be really good at is knowing when and how he can take height. So he uses this launch pad, and he's going to immediately sort of recognize that everyone else is flying in the air and no one's going to be above me, so I'm just going to go ahead and land on someone's tarp and then just build up to height. And now Arkhram has height, and I'm going to let this play out. I'm going to speed up a little bit here because for a bit nothing really happens. He just is kind of holding height here, just using one floor to tarp himself over and connect. And now he's connected, so he's not too concerned about being knocked out. But as you can see, he's set himself up into a good position here, and I'm assuming that that's how he's going to get these next like 4 elims here. So just that one play from the launch pad to just recognizing, oh, I can use this launch pad just to take height. And then no one has even really challenged him. And everyone knows that having height like this in in-game, when it's this densely populated, is a recipe to help you win the game, because you don't have that. You can save on a lot of mats, and you can also just be looking down at people as they're rotating and just laser them like he's doing right now. And that guy's playing the storm, so that dude probably has floppers. But Arkhram, these pros are very, very often now looking into the storm, knowing that people are going to be playing the storm with floppers, and so they're like ready for people to come out of the storm, and they're going to start lasering them, as you can see he's doing. But Reet decides not to press his luck. Alright, so there's one. Epic Whale tried to take height, but Arkhram was able to stop that from happening. But so he actually jumps down and doesn't hold height, and then it's going to come down here into mid-ground and get kills too. So, I mean, being dangerous in the mid-ground is just as beneficial as well. I mean, holding height is, I think, ideal, but apparently he didn't think that he could hold it there, or he just didn't think that he needed to. But as it jumps down to mid-ground, it's immediately gets an elim anyway, and it's about to pick up a few more here too. So I'm just gonna let this run and see kind of how he does it, because I think he gets like 5 or 6 kills total here and then doesn't win the game, but still, that's so many points. Again, having confidence in that aim and just to not even build and just take the fight, but just knowing that with your blue tack, you're going to be able to, with the confidence to just kind of aim at someone's face and get them. And then now with the purple pump, again, that confidence of like, I'm just going to 1-pump you. Plus, he probably knows these people are all pretty low, and then just kind of, you know, bites off more than he can chew there, and the water is probably messing him up, and then he's under a build. So Um, yeah, I mean, what I noticed from Game 7 really is just like just the confidence that he has, and I feel like he's at this point in the tournament, he's probably like feeling pretty comfortable. I mean, this is game 1 of day 2, but still, I mean, probably just feeling pretty comfortable after the first day, and it's just not scared to push people and to take shots at people with the sniper and the AR, and not scared to just try to jump in somebody's box when he has the opportunity to, and not scared to just take height and just say, hey, I'm on height and I'm gonna shoot you. And then recognizing, though, for whatever reason, that he needed to jump down and then get some kills, get some elims in mid ground as well. I just want to point out one quick little thing here. As you can see, Arkhram is upgrading his pump from a green pump all the way to a purple pump here. And I want to point out that the reason he was able to do that was because, as you can see, the circle is on him, and he's right here. And he's already rotated north, so he rotated north and looted all of this and got all of his mats up, and then came back here to then upgrade to the purple pump. He would not have done that if he didn't get the circle, right? So just something to think about. If you're in the circle, you have extra time to farm, you have extra time to rotate to a different location if you want to. You have all this other time, so just think about what you can do to utilize the time that you have when you're given the circle. Okay, so as you can see, he was gifted the circle again. So remember, he was here, and this circle popped, and he immediately rotated back north again, went down to the shore, and rotating, and now he's rotating into Craggy. And what you're going to see him do here, I think, is really smart. So he's already thinking, like, how can I position myself near the center of this circle, but also in a spot to where I can get tags on people as they're rotating? Like, because think about it. You could be super safe and rotate, like, into this building right here and just camp inside this building. And you'll probably get pretty far into placement, but in these games, you're not going to have hardly any placement points by the time you're going to have to rotate out of this, unless you get really, really lucky and get the next circle again. And that's kind of a high risk. And so it's just a better idea to position yourself in such a way that you're going to be able to get tags on people, maybe even get a kill off someone trying to rotate just from tagging them, right? So watch what he does here. I think it's really smart. He's going to go ahead and build up to the top of this building, because this building is really tall. And also, it's not even looted, so he gets a free chest. There's minis there. And then he's going to go ahead and build up, and now he's in this great vantage point. Like, look at all of the things that he can see, and all the people he's going to be able to take shots at just from this height here. And it's just setting himself up so well from this position. Look, see, he's taking shots over here. He can even shoot at people up on the mountain up there. So yeah, I mean, you should be thinking about when you have the time, when you're gifted the circle, like, you have time to process through, okay, where's the best location that I can get in to help benefit myself to get into late game. Okay, so I'm curious here. Well, I've been thinking about when he was going to take height, and what he's going to do here again is he has his own launch pad this time, but he's kind of was waiting to see if anyone else is going to place a launch pad. No one kind of does near him, so he takes his own. And he's going to go to the highest peak, and it was really just a perfect launch pad. I don't think it was really calculated. It just sort of happened that guy had built up right in front of him. Right at that moment when he took the launch pad, was able to land right on top of the highest peak at that point, and then build up a couple of layers. And now, look, he's on height again. And again, as you can see in the timeline here, he's about to pick up like 5 elims here, and he already has 1 elim. This first elim came from just a heavy snipe play. He just heavy sniped someone's wall, took the wall, edited on them, and with the purple pump, I mean, it's not much the guy could have done. So, but here again, just making this really good height play, recognizing that he can just take height off the launch pad, and then with this scar is probably just going to punish people. So preventing someone from taking height, Riverson with the scar, then picks up an elim there. As the guy's rotating through the storm. Gonna pick up another one as someone's rotating through the storm. The scar is just so dangerous from this height here. Rotating his ramps to easily bring himself down some layers to get into a safer position. And now, I mean, really, not with a lot of builds, but just with this ability to not have to waste any more mats because he's on height and he knows there's no one above him. Again, the heavy snipe coming in strong there. Just with the ability to instantly break that wall and then just spray with the scar when the person wasn't paying attention. Edits down, because that was not the position he wanted to be in. He's gonna pick up 2 more elims here, I think. So loses height, and mainly because he didn't really have mats. He just couldn't keep up the pressure to maintain height there, because he just didn't have the mats for it. But is able to get another elim on low ground. And this is just mechanical skill and quickness here once you're on low ground and mid ground. Is able to get that elim. Oh no, he died into the storm probably, so he was the last person to tag him. So yeah, I mean, just another really good height play, but isn't able to keep height because he runs out of mats, mainly because he runs out of mats, but also because he was just being challenged really hard and just didn't feel safe in that situation. But is actually able to come in second in this game with, I think, 6 elims, so. Alright, I want to quickly point out that this is quite possibly the worst circle, or one of the worst circles that Arkhram could get. Remember, Arkhram lands way up here, and part of his normal rotation is to rotate all the way north and loot all up here. So this is, I mean, straight south. They had to go all the way down. And the crazy part is you would think that he would be up here somewhere. Nope. Look where he is. Arkhram is all the way at the bottom of the circle by himself. He rotated all the way down to the dead side of the circle. And the way that he was able to do that was he has like a system. He knows if the first big circle was in this area here on the southern part, and he knows, okay, all that means is that I'm going to rotate north, loot like normal, and then I'm going to swim over to Steamy, I'm going to hit the stacks, and I'm going to fly as far down as I can. Now, most people, I think, would probably have hit the stacks and flown straight into the circle along the white line. They would have white lined to the circle just like this. But that puts you in the position to where there's like a ton of people, and he didn't want to be there. So what he did was he used the stacks and flew to Dirty, and then from Dirty he rotated down to the grotto and like did some stuff in the grotto. It didn't go into the grotto, but he kind of took some shots here and actually had to heal up a good bit, but it was able to get some snipes off of people as well. And then he rotated down, all the way to here. So I think it's really smart. I mean, if you recognize that you have the ability to not take too much storm damage and get to the dead side of a zone, you should probably do that. Like, imagine if he was in this spot right here. I mean, it's just much more precarious, but rather he's just completely by himself. All he's going to have to do is just worry about a couple of people as he rotates into this circle. It's just it's a much better position to be in. And I think that is why he's able to come in like 23rd or something in this game, which is amazing considering that he started up here. If you have like one of the worst circle pulls for where you land and you're still able to come out with 1 elim and like 22nd or 23rd place, I think that is you should consider that a win. I mean, obviously you want to win every game, but that is a really good way to end a game that the circle's this bad for you. Okay, so this man a little crazy. It picks up 2 elims, really just on, one was a heavy sniper play, the other was just being aware of the things going on around him, and he kind of was able to pick someone off who was engaged with someone else. But here, with 64 effective health, but he doesn't care, he's going to go for height. I mean, because where's the safest place? Probably height. But I feel like most people probably would not go for height here, and I'm not saying it's bad or it's good. I'm just saying I don't think most people would. I think if most people, when they have 64 health, they're probably going to try to play super safe and just like tunnel in and like stay boxed in as much as possible, especially when you have as many builds as Arkhram has here, because he has plenty of builds. But look, he just takes height. There was a guy on height with a rocket launcher. I don't know what happened to him, but it doesn't matter. Arkhram just takes height, and now he's just chilling up here. And then is going to get pushed by Temple and is able to pick up 1 elim here and then dies. But I just want to point out that, like, Arkhram doesn't care. He's going to drop now. So he doesn't want to contest because he has no health, right? So he's not going to contest it. But he would take it for free if people let him have it, right? And that's what happened. So I don't know. It's just kind of crazy in a good way. I mean, not saying it's a wrong move. It's just interesting. And here with a heavy sniper play again, and is able to pick up that elim. It's gonna die. It's gonna get eliminated here pretty soon. But the heavy sniper once again coming in clutch. That guy just gets in his box. Okay, so again, I just want to point out quickly that he somehow manages to find himself on the dead side of the circle again. And look, I mean, another terrible circle. That's 3 games in a row where the circle was pulled really far south. So this time by the way, he never rotates through Frenzy Farm. I have not seen him rotate through Frenzy Farm one single time, or any of this right here, actually. He always comes around like this. He rotated through Pleasant this time, and then came down like this, and then into this river, and then swam down into Slurpee, and then came all the way down to here. To the more dead side of the circle, which, I mean, in these games, I don't even really know if it's fair to say that there's a dead side of the circle. I mean, because people are everywhere, but there's definitely more dead down here on the south than it is up here in the top, and that's kind of where he was getting down here. So another really, really good rotation. Okay, so just want to point out that up until this point, he's been playing absolute low ground, and what I think is happening really is just like, first of all, he just feels confident everywhere. He feels confident on low ground, in mid ground, and on high ground, and is able to get 2 elims from low ground, and then is just patient and just sort of waits for everyone to rotate ahead of him, and does tag some people up as they're rotating ahead of him, but then, you know, sees that height is free because everyone's rotated ahead of him and no one's taking height, so he just ramps up and just for free takes height once again. Okay, so I want to, once again, just check out how he takes height here. So first of all, he had dropped down from a higher place to chase one of those dudes, and then only gets one of those elims. But look, he's dropping down at this point, and he's like at the back of the circle, and then I don't even think he really looked up. He just started ramping up, and then as he's ramping, he's like, oh, okay, another free height. It's pretty crazy. I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying it's not calculated, because obviously Arkhram is doing it so often that there's some sort of calculation, something going on here to where he's able to recognize the most opportune moments to go for height. But I don't know. I mean, like another pretty free height. I mean, there was one other person that was up there, but that person chose just not to even try to contest. And these people's launch pads don't even take them high enough to be able to get up to height. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty interesting. He's had height like in at least half of these games, which is pretty crazy, I would say. And definitely indicative of a skillful player that is sort of has the awareness, has better awareness than most of these other players. I'm gonna speed it up just a bit here and we can watch the end of it. And keep in mind, this is game 12. This is the last game. And by the way, at this point, Arkham's pretty sure that he's already won this entire tournament. Now he's just playing for fun and playing, you know, just to solidify the deal, even though it's already solidified. Just to kind of say, hey, look, I'm here to stay around, so. Picks up an elim on someone trying to take height from him. And now it's just him and one other person. And even with height, though, and plenty of maths, somehow Arkham's going to fall here. We'll take a look at it. And again, it doesn't really matter at this point. He knows that he's already won the entire tournament. He was so far ahead going into this game that all he needed to do was just do decent in this game, and he's done better than decent, so. Speed this up a little bit. It's going to be pretty boring until they start engaging with each other. Alright, so the circle closing. Circle is closing in, and Arkhram again with height and mats to use. Maybe they go hit the... No, they don't go for the heal off. They did go for the heal off. I guess Litsinio had probably a fish or two or something. Yeah, he still had another fish, so that'll do it. Thank you for watching this two-part series on the analysis and VOD review of Arkhram. Pretty crazy how often Arkham's able to take height. I mean, definitely something to be learned from there. I hope that you were able to learn something, gain some sort of insight to help your game. And if you did, please leave a comment. Let me know. I'd love to hear about it. And drop a like and subscribe if you want to. I'm going to be doing more VOD reviews, more things like this in the future.